Hey guys, this is Alex with Hammond Watch, here today with one of the most beloved entry-level Swiss automatic watches on the market. It's the Hamilton Khaki King. It's the H64455533. This is my personal watch and an all-time favorite, and I wanted to share it with you guys today for some of you that may not be overly familiar with the watch, and then a reintroduction and almost a reminder to collectors that haven't experienced it yet that it's out there. I want to say I paid like $320. I did buy it through a gray market retailer, which means no warranty from the manufacturer, but you do save a lot on the front end. With entry-level Swiss automatic watches, I feel very confident. I very rarely get an EDA-based movement from a reputable company that has issues out of the box. Not to say it can't happen, just make sure whenever you're buying a watch gray market, you're pulling it out, you're letting it run, winding it, putting it through its paces a little bit before you start unwrapping it, because you always want to be able to do a quick return if something happens, because most of them have very poor service plans. So one of the first things I did when I got the watch is I swapped out the strap. And that's not to say that this isn't a decent quality strap. It certainly is. 20 millimeter lug width. I happen to have a collar strap. If you guys aren't familiar, it's an Italian company, and they're incredibly soft and comfortable out of the box. This is a bit stiff, but in time it'll definitely wear in. I like that it kind of tapers. It's a little bit thicker up where it's attaching to the watch, and then slowly thins out. I don't want to take the time to do that right now. Once my collar wrap wears out, I'll probably put this on and give it a go, and hopefully I'll be patient enough to let it break in. It's got a very nice signed buckle. You can swap over buckles, obviously, onto your custom straps. Collar wrap doesn't have kind of wide holes, or a little bit more traditional in their setup. So I wasn't able to do it here, but I'm still happy with the kind of the finished product, and I think in time this will probably get some wear. Getting into the watch, one thing that immediately stands out to me are its proportions. You have a 40 millimeter case. You're lug to lug, and I'm not measuring lug to lug from like tip to tip. I fold the strap in because I really want to see where that spring bar is hitting, because I'm always going to wear this watch on a strap. I have no interest in any of the kind of lower end Hamilton bracelets. I don't think they're necessarily worth the extra money, at least in my eyes. So it's 46.5 lug to lug. You're looking at a thickness of 11.5 millimeters, so a very nice and kind of tight profile. As I mentioned earlier, 20 millimeter lugs. The crown is nicely guarded. In a decent size. It's a 6 millimeter crown. It's easy to grip. These are not screw down. You only have 50 meters of water resistance. So winding is very easy. Just, certainly not a watch you would want to wear for water sports or activities. Along with hand winding, the movement is also hacking. For those of you that aren't familiar, that means the second hand stops when you pull the crown all the way out. It just allows for more accurate time setting, and a feature that I'm a pretty big fan of. Something else I'm happy with this movement, the day feature. As it comes around, sometimes you'll see movements, and I've had some Orients with day date functions where it was a little bit sluggish. This snaps right around. No problems at all. Very crisp, very nice. Put it on a time grapher, losing about 4 seconds a day, which I'm completely thrilled with, especially given the cost. I think it's a very compelling package. The movement is an H40, and it's an EDA-based movement. Hamilton is a Swatch Group company. A lot of those, or most of those, are using EDA movements. I have heard people refer to them as in-house, being that Swatch Group owns ETA. That is not the case. They're a movement manufacturer supplying several companies. In no way, at least in my opinion, is that in-house. But a fantastic movement nonetheless. EDA 2834. What they've done, though, is they've taken its beat rate, which was 28,800 beats per hour, and they've slowed it down to 21,600 so that they can increase the power reserve to 80 hours. I'm a big fan of that for convenience sake. You still get a really nice sweep. 25 joule movement. You do get an exhibition case back. Kind of unlike Seiko, I don't mind looking at some of the base ETA movements. That said, there's very, very little decoration, and by little I mean just a rotor has some engraving on it. Everything else is just kind of flat metal, so nothing to write home about. But again, for just over $300, you really can't complain. You have your general information engraved around the edge, water resistant, Swiss made, the product number. But the dial is one of the main stars of the show. You obviously have a day and date complication at 12 o'clock. If you're not a huge fan of that, have no fear. They do a different version of the Hamilton Khaki. No lug protectors, but they do it in 38 and I want to say maybe 41 or 42, where you just have the date at 3 o'clock. I love that watch's look. The lack of lug guards is a little bit more appealing as far as like that vintage look goes. But that said, this watch runs a little bit cheaper and you get the added day complication. I'm kind of a sucker for a day date. So this one won me over, but Hamilton certainly has a number of options. If this dial layout is of your liking, they have a watch that's going to fit your preferences. So the luminescence layout is fun, but it's not very strong. It fades rather quickly. I don't have the room completely blacked out, but realistically, in low light situations, you're only going to get a couple of hours before it's not really legible, except maybe the hands. But all things considered, I mean, it's not a dive watch, so that it doesn't really hurt my feelings. If you guys think that you know of a better Swiss entry-level watch, hit me in the comments. Let me know what it is. I've seen a ton of watches. This kind of is top of the pile for me. But I'm more than happy to kind of explore around. Maybe there's something I haven't seen. We always have new micro brands coming out, and there's always new models getting released. So I'll look forward to reading the comments. See you guys in the next one.